Good afternoon, Full Throttle faithful. This is Josh Kiwis in the booth alongside my partner and broadcaster. It'll be my brother Chris Kiwis here on this beautiful night before Halloween. Looking a little bit Halloween out here at Homestead, Miami, but we are here live for the Vice City 130 brought to you by not Full Throttle, Team Sparkle Unicorn. Man, I had that played out in my head all the way up, Chris, and I screwed it up right there. But this is the Vice City 130 once again right here by Team Sparkle Unicorn. The team going to be bringing you this beautiful race here brought to you by them. So, Chris, like we were saying, though, looking a little bit Halloween themed out there. We're going to have a foggy race here tonight, as you can see. It's pretty hard to see on that back straightaway and that front straightaway, I'm sure. It's going to be very difficult for these drivers here tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be something that I was thinking about actually early on in the whenever I was watching practice. I was like, man, if it stays foggy this bad, it's going to be kind of hard to see. It's already hard to get around this track. This track is not easy to get around, especially early on when your tires are not warmed up. So that's going to be what we're watching for.
Yeah, I definitely know it's going to have an effect on the tires in the race, Chris, but it doesn't look like we have our drivers gridded up here. And we'll get through your qualifying grid in just a moment as we get a couple more of our drivers gridded up. But like you were saying, it is definitely going to be hard for these drivers to get their tires up to temperature. Maybe it'll help actually keep the temperature down. I should say not hard necessarily to get them up to temperature. It's going to be easy for that, but it might be nice to possibly help them run a little bit longer on these runs with the so much shade on the track and stuff. As we are waiting for just a couple more drivers in your top five to qualify, or excuse me, grid in here after qualifying, and we'll get to your grid here in just one moment. But it's going to be an interesting race, Chris. We've got Martinsville next week. This is going to be a chance for some drivers who had a big moment last week. Somebody like Chris Lynn who dropped a lot of positions. He's going to have a chance to come back up here and maybe get some of his luck back. But got to get it before Martinsville, and you got to get it tonight. As I just realized I don't have trading paints on, and now I was wondering, man, why is Ken Baum running no sponsors? As we do have a couple more drivers on grid here, Chris, so we'll go ahead and get through it. We'll pick up with these drivers here if they don't grid in here in just a moment. But it does seem like we do have a few drivers. We'll go ahead and get through, as it will be that number 2 Toyota Ken Baum Jr., current points leader. He will be starting on pole position here tonight from Homestead, Miami, as Kevin Click will take his outside lane in that P2 spot. We'll see Brett Strickler start P3 here tonight with Kyler McCarthy in that 4th position. Matthew Fitz is going to be in that P5 spot with William Brown, who's currently not gridded up at the moment, starting in that P6 position. We'll see David Smill Jr. He'll be in that Nitro 27 machine as he's in a Halloween-themed machine, starting in that P7 spot. As William Brown, there he goes, he hops in that P6 position. As we're talking about David Smill in that Halloween machine in P7, we got Nick Cannon to his outside in that P8 position. We'll see Lucas Nilges roll off P9 here with Chris Lynn running out your top 10. It'll be Ryan Sword in that 11th position with Robbie Bice in 12th. It's going to be William Hobart in 13th with Chad Engel in 14th. And then we'll see that Bill Hell's machine in 15th position, who's going to take that EOL, so it'll give it to Jimmy Barr. We'll then see Joshua Gaiman now take that 16th position. It should put Michael Zuver in that 17th spot with... Actually, Zuver might overtake Gaiman here and it put him in 16th and put Gaiman down a spot. But we'll get back on board here as it's going to go 18th to Dakota Kuhn, 19th to Shane Weldon, 20th to Brody Green, and taking the EOL will be Bill Hells. He'll start in that 21st position here tonight. But Chris, going to go ahead and get back up on board here with your drivers tonight as we are getting ready to go live for 130 laps here from Homestead, Miami, and it looks like they've had an absolute barn burner out in the backstretch. There's a barn burning for sure, because it is a smoky looking race out there tonight, and you're not going to know if somebody's blowing up all night or not. There's so much smoke out there and fog, it's going to be hard to tell. But we are getting ready to go green here as this iRacing Mustang is going to get ready to take a hard left here in just a moment and send our drivers green, green, green. The Vice City 130, brought to you by Team Sparkle Unicorn, is now live and going here on Full Throttle Motorsports as we are getting down here into turn number 1. As you're going to see Ken Baum Jr. and Kevin Click in that 1 and 2 spot. It's already coming to the inside. Looks like Matthew Fitz, that 24 of Kyler McCarthy, and that 38 of Brett Strickler all making a big move. We have some big moves here coming down the back straightaway. And Chris, one thing about Homestead Miami, race is a little bit different in these cars now. We'll see him get down here in a 3 and 4. Let's see what these drivers got to do here on this lap number 1. As Matthew Fitz is going to move up 2 positions into that P3 spot. As you see, it looks like William Brown, he's moved himself up into 5th.
Whoa,
we already got Brett Strickler into the wall.
As I was gonna say, there's only
not good for Brett Strickler.
Yeah, there's only 2 lanes to really drive in this, and you don't want to be stuck in the middle because you will get loose. As you see, Brett Strickler getting loose as we'll keep going as the green flag's still out. But I was gonna say I was driving this track. Ken Baum was so kind to let me use a setup that was not the setup that he uses. Of course, he's not going to give me the rocket ship. Why would you give me the rocket? Whoa! Matthew Fitz gets a little loose riding that bottom lane, but you know. He did give me a setup. I was able to drive it, and there's only 2 lanes on this track. It's either up against the wall or down on that bottom white line. So we'll see which lanes drivers try to pick out here. You know, I saw Matthew Fitz running the wall pretty much the entire time he was in practice, so we know he's got the wall down. Just decides when he goes up there to it. As I say, it looks like he's going to try to take that middle to 3rd lane.
As Nick Cannon, Chris, our big mover right here in the top 5 right now. He's in that P4 position. The 88, he's going to be trying to make himself a make himself a way here and a lane and try to get up here in this battle for this 1st, 2nd, and 3rd position. And it's Kevin Click, Ken Baum, and Kyle McCarthy as the 2 leaders have swapped position here. Kevin Click started in that 2nd spot. He's overtaking Ken Baum Jr. And right now he's got the lead at lap 4. And it looks like we got a big move coming out of that number. He's got David Smith Jr. back there, and he's going to go to the inside lane.
A lot of these skins, I'm thinking they're different people. I saw that orange car, and I was like, oh, that I think that's Robbie Weiss. Nope, was not Robbie Weiss. It was David Smith. As you see him getting a little loose down there on that bottom lane. Matthew Fitz setting the fastest time of this session here. But like you were saying, Matthew, Ken Baum, and Kevin Click kind of switching that front position around, you know, maybe seeing who wants to be up front, who don't want to be riding up front. And then you see Kyler McCarthy, who has worked his way up 1 position into that 3rd spot. And then Nick Cannon, like you said, Josh, moved himself up 4 positions. So good to see these Sparkle Unicorn boys riding up here in the front.
Yeah, they're fast early right now, which is, you know, promise for these guys. We're seeing what their race cars can do here. Maybe if they've got some long run cars, we might see it come out here in just a few moments. I mean, we've had a couple of races here, Chris, with only 1 or 2 cautions the last couple. I mean, it's been a pretty good.
Didn't have a caution last race.
I was about to say, so we're going to have to see if they're going to get it out in time. We know there's big implications here. There could be a lot of nervousness going into this race. We know Martinsville's going to be where the tension's high, but there could be a little bit of jitters here tonight, Chris. We're getting close to that playoff cut line, and some of these drivers that should be here aren't here. We'll have to see how they're going to react here tonight before they go into Martinsville.
Yeah.
This could be big implications, Chris. You know, a big bad wreck here tonight, and it could put you out of the playoffs, and virtually out of the playoffs, unless you just have a win and in situation in Martinsville next week.
Yeah, like we were saying, Christopher Lynn dropped all the way down to that 8th position last race. Did not have a great race. So, you know, he did drop in the points really bad. Bill Hell's also on that 7th position. So, you know, they're going to be on that cut line. Him and Lucas Nilges, Kyle McCarthy, all riding that cut line going into Martinsville next week. That's going to be what we're wanting to see is those 4 drivers, Kyle McCarthy, Lucas Nilges, Bill Hells, Christopher Lynn, trying to do best as they can because right now Ken Baum is leading the points. Kevin Click in 2nd. David Smill Jr. is in that 3rd position and William Brown in 4th. So right now, whoa, as you see Ken Baum going all the way to the top lane. Looks like he's going to be riding the wall. That's something we were talking about. He's going to have a big run. Whoa.
Oh, who's that? Who is that?
Chad Engel?
Chad Engel?
That was the 35 of Chad Engel, just getting a little loose on that inside lane.
Not have a Brett Strickler moment, so
yeah.
Seems like he got it back under control before any big contact to the outside wall.
Yeah, but it looks like Kyler McCarthy though passed Kevin Click for the lead. So we've got a new leader here at lap 8. Or excuse me, lap 9. Looks like Ken Baum having a little bit of trouble on that outside lane. It's opening up the door for Nick Cannon. Matthew Fitz in tow behind him. So this is something that we're watching, you know, how much these Sparkle Unicorn guys have been actually practicing and running lines together because they know, you know, they've got to pull William Brown up there and Lucas Nilges to get that championship run. He's riding on board here with that number 9 of William Brown. You see him running that inside lane. It looks like Maybe Ken Baum trying to maybe go in a little bit of a conserve. He's running that outside lane. You see, 69 of Matthew Fitz getting up on that door of that too, but he's going to ride that inside lane. That's something I was saying. Either you're going to pick that top lane or you're going to pick that bottom lane. That's where we're seeing a lot of these drivers go now. You see that too? He maybe got a big run out of the corner. He thought he was going to take it to the inside, said, no, I'm just going to go ahead and back it off. As you see him get out of the gas really early there. He's going to open it up. He's going to roll back there. Oh, he might have gotten out of sorts going into the corner. Right now, Kyler McCarthy under attack from that 25 of Kevin Click.
Look, Fitz going to take it 3 wide almost, Chris.
Oh, as you're going to see the 25 slide jot him down. Shut that nose off. The 24 not wanting to be on that middle lane, though. I know that bottom lane's getting loose. You saw Kevin Click wiggle a little bit. Fitz to the inside.
Yeah, he's going to show his nose there on the inside. And a big run. Kevin Click's going to back out early. He's going to roll the center of the corner, maybe try to get a run here on exit. As Kyle McCarthy, big rip on that outside wall. As you're going to see Matthew Fitz slide job his way up into that first place position, but big run here coming to the inside from that Kevin Click machine as he's going to suck up to that door of the 24, but down into turn 3 and 4. Leader at the moment, Matthew Fitz, Chris. You know, we had the private conversation with him a couple weeks ago, and he said he's been more focused here lately. He's been wanting to put more effort into the sim. It's showing. The 69 of Matthew Fitz, your new leader at the moment. Let's see how long he's going to be able to hold on to it here. He's got 2 hungry dogs here behind him in that Kevin Click, Colin McCarthy machine.
Yeah, you're seeing Kevin Click starting to lose a little bit of pace behind Kyler McCarthy. But as I say that, starting to ride up on that door panel of that 24 machine, but not really wanting to press that issue here early on. But you're seeing right now the 24 on the back bumper of the 69. Kevin Click's, like I said, just losing a little bit of pace behind that 24, but picking it up.
Oh,
right
Nick
now,
Cannon, William Brown battling.
I was going to say William Brown on the door of his teammate of that 88 of Nick Cannon. So a little battle going on for that 4th and 5th position.
Ooh, big drive in, too. He's going to drive it over the nose of his teammate. As these Sparkle Unicorn guys here, Chris, tonight seem like they got a really banging setup here at the start of this race. It's going to have to see if it's just going to manage over the race. We know with all this fog, all this shade on the track, it's not going to get as hot. These tires are not going to degrade as much. So we'll see how they're going to manage with their tire degradation, if they're going to be able to run this pace pretty much. Because if they are, I mean, they're going to put a big wrench into the playoffs here with 3 drivers like this. It's going to have to make these drivers fight hard next week. It's pretty much going to stagnate the runs, you know, if they can pretty much hold their position in the field. They're not going to move anywhere.
Yeah, as right now we're seeing Matthew Fitz just kind of take over the lead here. See, Kyler McCarthy still on that back bumper, though. Kevin Click still in a manageable range to that 24 machine. William Brown, though, this is what we're talking about. He has to have a good finish here tonight. Then you see behind him in tow is that 3 of Lucas Nilge's, also one of those drivers that's on that 6th position spot. So he is trying to claw his way back in here. Did not have a good race last week. We saw him, I want to say, came down pit lane. Had some kind of issue. I can't remember what the 3 had, but I want to say he went a lap down early on. But if I am wrong, I do apologize. But right now, right now, Lucas Nilge's doing a good job up here in that 5th position. But Kevin Click deciding looks like he was going to take a move to the inside. But just
somebody wrecking back there? I have my tire noise so loud that sometimes when they're slipping to the corner. Sorry, I apologize about that. Thought somebody was wrecking, but I think I just heard their tire slipping.
I did see
Joshua Gaiman not having a good run here tonight. Seems like the only nitro guy that's really clicking here right now is that Colin McCarthy machine. And, you know, Gaiman could just be holding on. Maybe thought this was going to be a pretty sketchy race to start with. And he's going to find his rhythm here and move to the field. I mean, he's a fast driver. We'll have to see if that 33 machine can recollect it. But right now, up 3 spots, started in 18th. So he's moving, but at a slow pace. We'll have to see if that 33 is going to be able to get up here and mix it up. But as we go back, Chris, you see this 27 of David Smill Jr., and not far in front of him is that 2 of Ken Baum Jr., your current points leader and your original pole sitter. He's fallen back 7th positions. He's sitting here in this 8th spot. You got to think for this 2 machine. As we say this, though, Kyle McCarthy, big move here to the inside. As it's the 69 of Matthew Fitz. It's the 24 of Kyle McCarthy as they run down the back straightaway. It should give Matthew Fitz a little bit of a run with that 25 of Kevin Click behind him. As we're going to get off here into turn 3 and 4. As that 24 to 69.
You see them both getting loose.
I was about to say, but it's a good run. They're going to battle here coming out of turn 2. Or excuse me, turn 4. Goodness gracious. That's down the front straightaway. Almost a little bit of contact. Don't think they touched. It would have been Matthew Fitz at the stripe there. So I would say he led lap 18. As going here into 1 and 2, we'll see if Kyle McCarthy's going to be able to slide the nose. And it looks like he will. I'm saying
Looks like
Matthew
he's got the
Fitz getting
better
that
run.
big run. Here he comes, and it looks like he's going to be able to cross him over back to the inside. Oh,
Oh,
and he's going to
block!
block it. Big block from the 24 here at lap 19, and it's going to allow Kevin Click to the inside. This is the race we were going to be expecting here at Homestead. I knew it would open up here once these guys started battling, and man, we're going to see some fireworks here tonight, I expect, Chris, as back to the inside comes Matthew Fitz, and that should allow Kevin Click now to suck up to the back bumper of that 24.
Yeah, seeing, I was wondering what was going on there for a second. Seeing the 24 go ahead and make that massive block at lap 19. That was a little perplexing there for just a second. But you're seeing, whoa, is back there behind him. It looks like that was the 35 again of Brett Strickler getting loose. Excuse me, the 38. Or no, it was the 35. Excuse me, I am saying all the wrong numbers. 35 of Chad Engel got loose back there. And it looks like the 38 of Brett Strickler was in there with him, and then you see Chris Lynn getting loose on that inside lane. So this is something.
Colin McCarthy are battling again here, going into 1 and 2. It looked like they were right on the inside of each other. My bad. The timings looked like they were side by side. My fault.
I do know that towards the end of the race, Lucas Nilge's into the wall. The 25 again, Clicker.
Around. Oh! I think that was off the front end of the 9 of William Brown.
Took a shot to that front end.
P2 end points.
Let's go in. Let's see if we can ride on board with him. See if that steering wheel's still going straight. It looks like it's leaning just a little bit to the left. Right, excuse me. We'll have to see what happened here, though. As it looks like just coming off the corner. Maybe William Brown just thought he had a better run on, let's see. See, they're door to door right there right now. Maybe Kevin Click got into the wall and bounced. Yeah, it looks like maybe Kevin Click bounced off the wall. Let's go on board with Lucas Nilge's.
Yeah, let me see that from Nilge's hood view, Chris.
We see Nilge's get into the wall right here. Yep.
I mean,
he made contact with the wall right there.
That's not William Brown's fault at all,
yeah.
I don't think.
No, that is not William Brown's fault.
I mean, I don't think, obviously Kevin Click's not trying to hit the wall, but I think got into the wall and maybe he thinks, I don't know. I don't think he thinks the 9 is that close to him. That's the only thing I can think. Maybe he thought the 9 wasn't that close. Or maybe he thought the 9 was closer than he really was, and he got pressured into the wall. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like he just felt pressured. I don't know. I'm not in his head, so I can't think like him. So unfortunate. That's not what you want to see from 2 playoff drivers. I don't think either of those drivers would do anything like that on purpose.
Whoa! Look at Ken Baum. What's going on with the 2 machine?
Is he just now getting lifted up? I'm so confused.
Well, we just saw him go to pull off pit lane, and it looks like he backed up. Speaking of backing up, I guess we'll rewind and see what happened with this 2 machine.
He
took tires. You see Kyler McCarthy pulling out now. This is everybody pulling down pit lane. He goes to leave and just stops. Huh.
And he's back out in 19th position.
Well, that was interesting. Uncharacteristic there from that to a Ken Baum. Have to see if we can figure out what happened to him here in a little bit.
And once again, do apologize about the fog. We forgot that we do control the weather here. So yeah, it's okay. The racers are still out there, We're just acting like Uncle Jimmy forgot to put out the barn fire the other day, and now it's.
Well, if you notice from the in-car cams, it doesn't really look that
Yeah,
bad.
it's because the TV cameras are realistically in the infield, and we're at such a high zoom in, like we're at such a high zoomed in, field of view. You just see the fog from the infield from the realism, I guess. But green is back going, and this is all real. As these drivers are going to get back off here, and you're going to see that. I heard Jimmy Barr say he missed a shift back there.
He's got it underneath him, though. He's still going. It's good to see. At least it wasn't the wrong way. At least it was up and not down. So right now, Kyler McCarthy got out to a little bit of a lead. You see William Brown on that pit stop, got himself set up into that second position. You see that 3 of Lucas Nilge's right behind him as well. Nick Cannon, man, these Sparkle Unicorn guys have got a setup to be contended with here tonight. They are all running up here in the top 10. Yeah, William Hobart, who we don't really talk much about here, battling in that 7th position with Michael Zuber in that 96 machine. Joshua Gaiman moved himself up to 9th after that pit stop.
Vince must have had a really bad pit stop.
Yeah, he's moved himself all the way back.
Was leading the race
into that 10th position.
9 spots.
See him right now battling with that 12 of Jimmy Barr. We're going to go back up here on board with Kyler McCarthy. See, he's still out in the lead right now. Got about a 4/10 gap between him and that Kyler McCarthy machine. And Lucas Nilge's right on that back bumper of that 8 machine. Also right behind him, Nick Cannon, and then David Smith Jr., a driver that needs to really get himself set up here into a good position. Going into Martinsville next week, that's going to be a slugfest. That's one of those tracks that no matter how good of a race car driver you are, you have to rely on everybody else also being very good at being race car drivers, because that's a track that if you miss one braking zone, it's going to be a nightmare. It will be a nightmare. And it's something that you don't want to get yourself into. You're going into a championship battle being cut off.
It's not fun. Definitely not fun passing at Martinsville.
I mean, it's fun once you get past them. When you pass them, you're like, yeah. But the whole leading up to
on the next lap.
Yep.
Because you don't have that. You don't have that braking dummy in front of you to understand where you need to stop.
Exactly.
It happens, but like you said, Chris, Martinsville is a track that you have to rely on yourself and your surroundings too. Like, your night can be ended by someone, just like you said, missing a braking zone and dumping you in the wall. Oh, who is that? Big wreck back there.
Chris
Lynn. Dakota and Chad Engel.
Chris Lynn did not need this right now.
Yeah, that is probably going to seal his fate for the playoffs unless he has a miracle next week.
Yeah, that car doesn't look like it's going straight. That is Dakota Kuhn, who is smoking.
Engel?
Chad Engel also, yeah.
Go on board with Dakota Kuhn again? Man, that Ford is tore up, man. Dumping oil all over the racetrack. Not really. But imagine, though, oh my goodness, imagine if they had to red flag us for like 45 minutes to do virtual oil cleanup. We're going board here. Oh, it looks like that was none of their fault. I think that might have been Shane Weldon that got into Dakota Kuhn. Yeah, it looks like maybe, I don't know. As we'll see, coming in here.
No, you see him getting loose. He probably gets off the gas and running like a fireball on that inside lane is Shane Weldon, so he's just going to probably collect him up. I want to see right here. You see, looks like he's a little loose there. Looks like he's a little loose, and he goes to come down, maybe slows up a little bit, and Shane Weldon just not knowing that he's going to slow up that.
Let's get an onboard camera with Dakota Kuhn. I want to see the hit from his point of view. Because he took a big shot here, and we really didn't get to see it. Looks like he goes onto the apron. He's going to get collected back up. Oh. Oh, yeah, that car is done.
Yeah, and you see Chris Lynn just in for the ride at that point. You see it happening in front of him. He's trying to get off of it. He's trying to go, just nowhere to go.
He took pretty much a head-on shot too.
Yeah, we'll see how that wheel's turning, which, as you see there, that is not good.
And Chad Engel was the last one in that wreck. If you would like to just take it from a TV camera here, right? One more time. Let's see it overview for the fans one more time, and we'll get back live here because we should be going ready to race. Just a moment, as this is the last view from the wreck we'll get. Oh, yeah. Just an innocent bystander, pretty much, is the 35 of Chad Engel. Wait, is this now? Was somebody just driving through the grass? Am I losing my mind?
I think you're losing your mind, Josh.
It might have been the way. Oh, he's on the apron. Man, it was like one of those frames that happened so fast, and I was like, "Am I losing my mind?" And I knew it was. It was a 30 number. I was like, I couldn't tell who it was. But
32 of Chris Lind.
I'm not losing my mind. There was somebody there. It was just 32. Oh my goodness gracious.
That Mustang looks like it's just got its eyes closed.
They're gonna have to take that horse out back and shoot it.
Well, now he's driving through the grass, Josh. Oh yeah, look at the front left wheel there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
he's just taking it. He's just pitting.
He's just pitting. Oh, unfortunately, he was gonna try to, but I guess Martinsville. That's gonna be where Chris Lind's gonna have to pick it up.
All right. Well, Fred the Flagman's gonna bring him back to Grayson. Green drivers. Kyle McCarthy going to get off to a good start here. He's got that Lucas Nilge's machine behind him as he's going to go ahead and get to the inside of his two Sparkle Unicorn teammates. Is Nick Cannon going to get in tow with him now as well? As off to a good start is that Nitro machine of Kyle McCarthy. As we'll see what these Sparkle Unicorn guys behind him can do. As Matthew Fitz has been trying to work his way back up in the field. Hasn't gained any position since he lost 9 positions in that pit stop, or excuse me, maybe 8. I think he had lost the lead by the time we came at 2 pit stops. But it looks like Lucas Nilge's right now is going to be the top dog in that Sparkle Unicorn camp. He's got the car right now. As he looks like, you know, there's cars that hit that color scheme makes me think of the old Highlighter brand.
I have no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I used to have a yellow and blue Highlighter when I was in school, and I think that's what it's making me think of. But I love yellow, and I love blue.
Right now, David Smill is trying to catch up there to his Kyler McCarthy teammate in that lead position. But like we were saying, David Smill has to have a good finish here tonight, so that way he can set himself up going into Martinsville. You know, like I said, you keep hearing me. You hear me keep saying.
Matthew Fitz, I just made contact, Chris. Sorry.
You hear me keep talking about Martinsville, but you don't realize unless you're a race car, unless you're in the sim. And you're a sim driver in the race car driving, whatever you want to call it. That track's not where you want to have to battle out for your championship bout. It's just not. I have chased Bobby Labonte down at that track, and it's not fun.
All I'm saying is it's more or less you don't got to worry about the people around you. You got to worry about them dang curbs on the inside of the corners, man.
Yeah.
You touch them, you're dead.
Because right now, Kyle McCarthy is starting to get out to a pretty good lead.
Love racing late models there, though, man. It's a great track. It's going to be a fun race for sure, I love looking into the future to next week and thinking where we could be virtually, but right now, this is where it's all going down in front of us, so we got to just see what's going to happen here, as it looks like Lucas Nilge's is trying to catch that Kyle McCarthy machine, who just set the fastest lap the last time by of the session at a 33.01. And this time he's going to set a 33.10. So a tenth slower this time. Kyle McCarthy's moving right now. He's hauling the mill.
Yeah, he's doing a good job out there in the lead. We're seeing William Brown try to catch up to his teammate. Maybe not running the same line as Lucas Nilge's is. We're seeing, as I say that, they are running the same line, maybe just not up to speed as he wants to be. And then you see David Smill, who's hanging on to the back bumper of that 88. Looks like he might be trying to make a move here in a minute. Not really sure. You see Michael Zuver, who last week was out in the lead for pretty much 10 or 15, 20 laps. I can't remember. He was out in the lead for a pretty good bit of it and then fell off. Had a couple of little hiccups and fell back to the back. But good to see him moving himself up into the field, trying to get up here behind or excuse me, trying to get up behind him is that 69 of Matthew Fitz, but you see William Hobart right behind him. Ryan Sword, also a Team Sparkle unicorn on that outside lane in that 94. Then you see Joshua Gaiman, Joshua, you said earlier, wasn't having a good run right now, running up in that 10th spot, up 8 positions.
Whoa, and he's getting spun around. Matthew Fitz wheeling that 69 machine. Is he going to save it? He is. No contact to the outside wall. Everybody's going to get a little bit off the gas there, and it looked like he got a little bit of contact from that 94 possibly of Ryan Sword. Either way, Matthew Fitz was just wheeling Dylan, and he's going to lose all that progress and some. But I think the 69's just glad to have a race car under him still. Man, that was a hell of a save. Look at that, Chris. He is just trying. No, it's the 13 of William Hobart that I think made contact with him. Yeah. Gets on the apron multiple times. Just had diffuser down there. Just got the deep death wobbles.
Oh, my goodness.
Went to the wall. What a save for Matthew Fitz. Shows the experience he's got behind the wheel.
Yeah, you know, I'm already telling you, I would have wrecked that race car. That race car would have been toast. I'm telling you, I don't even know. I don't have the sim rig he has, and I couldn't even keep my Logitech straight in a corner, coming out of a corner like that. So, man, for him to keep that thing going straight, I just don't even understand it.
Yeah, definitely saved of the night so far, man. I thought for sure he wrecked it 3 different times there, and every time he saved it. So, like we said, it's definitely not what he wants here, but at lap 41 to 130, we're definitely going to get another pit stop, and especially if these drivers keep getting these big runs on each other and knock each other around. I would expect another caution here within the next 20 laps if they're going to do it, but we're going to start seeing some tire degradation here soon, and these runs start to fall off here just a little bit.
Well, like I was saying, you know, one things about this track is you're gonna spin out unless you're on your P's and Q's. You're going to spin out coming out of the corner. So you have to be like pretty much laser focused at all times and keep your attention focused on the wheel, because I mean, if you start getting a little sideways, you're gonna go around. There's no doubt. So very good on Matthew Fitz. Like that, I can't stress it enough. Matthew Fitz out there showing that he knows how to drive a race car. Whoa, is Joshua Gaiman getting a little loose?
Well, and he's still tracking it. Big wreck into the outside wall. Everybody's going to get around him.
Oh, big smack there.
I told you, Chris, these guys are starting to get a little fish telly out there.
Yeah, it looks like the sun came out there in turn 2 just for a second. Just as he was coming out of the corner.
Flashbang.
Yeah, he got flashbang. That's what we'll blame it on. See, it's a little brighter down here in turns 2 and 3. Or turn 1 and 2, excuse me.
Yeah, you are right. It is starting to look like it's cleared up some. And it is getting brighter down that back straightaway now that I noticed you say that. But when we get down here in 3 and 4, it's like you turn the light off.
Yeah,
still
maybe
pretty hazy out here.
Maybe some of that fog going away.
I was about to say, it's still like a Willie Nelson concert out here. As we get back up on board here with our man of the hour right now, Kyle McCarthy doing an excellent job. As you all know, Joshua Susi, due to outside issues of the sim, he had to pull out of the championship, forfeiting his lead at the moment. And we said one of those Nitro guys would pick up the reins, and right now it looks like it's Kyle McCarthy saying, "Hey, I'm here. I'm in the championship still. I got this great race car under me." The Nitro guys are still building setups, whether, Susi's there or not. So he's got a rocket ship under him right now, and he's so far rising to the occasion, Chris, kind of like the backup quarterback coming in and picking up the national championship with you, or win for you, Roll Tide, as Kyle McCarthy. We're going to see him go up here and get in that P1 spot and, hey, take off and run away with it, man. And if Kyle McCarthy's not an Alabama fan, didn't mean to say it like that, I know he's not, but probably not. Didn't mean to say it like that.
Oh, man, that caught me off guard. As you see, Michael Zuber now moved himself up into that 3rd spot, up 14 positions. So, man, that 96 machine is moving his way up through the field. And I'm starting to see a couple of different lanes open up now. As I said, maybe later on as we've gotten rubber down on the track, maybe these middle lanes are starting to open up. I was going to say I noticed, a lot of the races, though, or a lot of the laps that I was turning here at Homestead, I've turned about, I'd say about 150 laps here. A lot of it was down at the bottom of the track. I did run about 50 laps up at the top, but man, you get so close to the wall that it makes you not want to do it. We're seeing a lot of drivers not tempt the fate of the wall just yet. We saw Ken Baum running the wall earlier, but right now that 2 machine is just kind of running that bottom lane. Slowly he's pulling his way back up through the field. He's up here in that 8th position. So after that bad pit stop last time, that 2 machine, though, showing you why he's leading the points right now.
As Hobart and that 27 machine got pretty tight there off corner exit. As it lap 49 of 130.
Whoa!
That's going to be a wreck. Around goes David Smill. Big contact into the outside wall.
Gonna have to see just how badly damaged that 27 machine is. Maybe he gets lucky, didn't take a big shot. Man, that's something.
He took a big shot.
Oh, man, he did take a big shot, but maybe his, the steering wheel is turned.
Oh, yeah, maybe he didn't take as big of a shot. You're right, but he took it when his wheel was turned, and that's what got him. You know, I really don't think that's... You don't think that's Hobart's fault, right? I think that was just Smill thinking he was clear. I mean, obviously, you probably don't want to be racing Hobart like that when you're a playoff contender, but, I mean, it is a race, so, I mean... Hey, I did call, like, the next 15 laps, didn't I? We should get a caution.
As we'll see if we can see it.
Yeah, I just would like to see it from another perspective. I mean...
Well, then... Let's see if we can see it from Ken Baum's point of view.
Because I don't think I don't know. I think it was just a racing ordeal. I wouldn't want to put the blame on any of them. I don't think that was the intention from either of them. I know David Smill is a lot smarter than to just go driving over the nose like that. You know, obviously he just did, but just wouldn't do it to take himself out like that. He obviously had to think that he was clear there. Or his iRacing spotter told him he was clear, and whatever spotter he may be using, a crew chief or having an actual crew chief in his ear. So, but when you're using those, external crew chiefs, whether it be the one in game or the crew chief app, if you know what I'm talking about, sometimes you get that net code where it thinks you're clear in game, so it'll call you clear. You pull down and you're not clear by, as you see, the nose of a race car. Barely, just not clear. That could have been what happened to David Smill Jr. I just don't think he would just go flying over someone's nose like that, thinking he's clear when he's an experienced driver. He's got a good race car under him, and he seems to always be in the right place, right time. But this tonight, it seems like he's going to be wrong place, wrong time here. Man, yeah, I just think that's got to be a spotter calling him clear or something. I don't know why he would go across the nose like that, with any other way. Any other way. That's the only thing I can think of. And maybe he thought Hobart was going a little bit lower. Maybe the way he saw the entry in the corner, he thought he was clear, and if Hobart goes a little bit lower, he scrubs more speed. He thinks he drives over the top of his nose kind of thing, clears him. It could have been one of those ordeals. I just don't think anything. I mean, obviously, I would say no harm, no foul, because there was harm. But I really don't think it was a malicious ordeal. Just a racing incident. You can't really help it.
Yep, I agree with that.
And from my position, I'm not trying to get beer cans and peanuts thrown at me when I walk out of the booth tonight.
Yeah,
I've been seeing how they've been treating the football refs here lately.
Yeah, I've been reading that too, sitting at work.
Especially the SEC refs, man, they deserve it.
Exactly.
They've been horror awful this year. I mean, horrible and awful. It has been bad. But we'll get back to talking about this. I mean, we just did see a bunch of drivers come down
Whoa, the
pit road.
sun.
I didn't even
The
see it.
sun came out just for just a second. It looks like it's brightening up just a little bit. But it looks like right now, Josh, Michael Zuver, William Hobart, Ryan
First
Sword,
pit, yeah.
Bill Hells, and Shane Weldon all did not come down
Oh,
pit
did
lane.
not come down pit road. Yeah, you are correct. It's gonna be interesting. And I really don't think any of these drivers have been up here in the lead tonight.
Yeah, Robbie Bice, Chad Engel, Brody Green, Chris Lynn still down pit lane for 13 minutes. Unfortunate for that 32. Just wrong place, wrong time for him tonight. Robbie Bice on his way out. Brody Green also on his way out. Yeah, a lot of these drivers that we're not, we're seeing Michael Zuver, who, like I said, did have a really massive lead last week. Now up here in the lead. You see William Hobart on his outside, who was involved in that racing incident.
Super was muted for some reason. I just saw where it said Michael Zuver's chat has been enabled, but it was never disabled. So did they is it when freaking Matthew Fitz was trying to mute people last race and everybody was getting mad?
I don't know.
He's been muted ever since. I don't know if it stays that way. But either way, get back on board here as these drivers are going to be tightening up those belts and getting ready to go, as it's going to be green flag and Michael Zuver.
Inside lane stacked up.
Ooh, and like Shane Weldon might have missed the shift big time or something. Colin McCarthy's already searching for an avenue inside the 24 goes. And he's going to take it 3 wide here.
Oh, this is going to be sketchy. This is going to be sketchy.
Oh, and we already might have contact, William Brown, Colin McCarthy. William Brown going to go to the outside, and he's going to go to the inside across the nose. 3 wide down the back straightaway. Lucas Nilges, Bill Hells and co. Oh, my goodness, this is scary, Chris. Here comes Ken Baum Jr. to the inside as he's now taking that middle lane. That's Bill Hells on the outside lane up there. As you'll see, Colin McCarthy to the inside. Excuse me, he's behind Nick Cannon. Oh, my goodness. What a restart. It's Ken Baum Jr. now trying to take to that outside lane. As we're on the full throttle blimp cam here.
Yeah, we've got to quit letting Rollin fly this thing.
Yeah, for real. It's going to end up in the power lines again. There's like, what, 23 of these things in the world? We're down to like 12 now because of Rollin.
Yeah, he just keeps flying. That's why I don't ever go to the blimp cam, because by the time I get to the camera, it's already in the power lines. We don't ever say anything about it. He just...
Whoa, big move, and there goes... Oh, my goodness.
You just scared me.
Yeah, I thought we were about to lose a driver. Who was that?
I don't know. Right now, though, Ken Baum's starting to catch up here. He's on the back bumper of William Brown. We saw that inside lane get stacked up on that restart, but now everybody's kind of got it settled out. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Had a minor little heart attack. I was about to say I had a little minor heart attack there for Ken Baum. Whoa, Ken Baum getting loose.
He's chasing it. Oh my God. Dude, from that angle, it like he just wrecked him. Oh my gosh. My stomach just dropped so freaking hard, man. Chris, this was an awesome restart, man. These full throttle. If you're not entertained, I mean, are you even human? A big bump coming. This is an awesome race right now. You would think this is the playoff finale. We still got 3 races left, man. And look at this, to the inside.
A lot of these drivers on those older tires.
Have to back out. That's going to have to make William Brown back out. Ryan Sword to the outside. Here comes Ken Baum Jr. chugging away, but he's going to push his teammate right there on the outside. Nick Cannon coming to the inside of Colin McCarthy. I got to stop. I got to breathe. I'm going to pass out, man. This is insane, dude. Holy crap.
Oh, William Hobart on the outside.
Oh,
Tyler McCarthy.
Oh, Lucas Nilges. Oh, they're all stacked up. Look at that 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th position right there. A gaggle of race cars, 3 wide from the Sparkle Unicorn guys. This is not where you want to be if you're the Sparkle Unicorns, especially here at the Vice City 130. Brought to you by them. They might be bringing you the biggest wreck here in a moment because this is oh my goodness, big tight pack. Oh my goodness, and I'm getting big old puckers every time I see these guys make moves, Chris. This is heart racing, man. Oh my goodness. This is full throttle racing right here.
Yeah, these boys showing you that they really know what's going on. And you see William Hobart holding that outside lane up. You see Lucas Nilges trying to get to the inside. You see the 24 of Kyler McCarthy going on the outside, of Ryan Sword. But right now, Michael Zuver getting worked on by that 2 of Ken Baum, who's working that outside lane. Pass for the lead. New leader here at lap 60. That two Ken bomb. As we were having just a little bit of technical difficulties there, is right now we're seeing William Hobart. I see the his name dropping through the tickers. As I want to say also, Kevin Click, that 25 has worked his way back up into that 9th position. Good to see that 25 working his way back up here into the top 10. You see that 38 there, Brett Strickler, who did set the fastest lap here not too long ago at a 33.0. So right now that Lucas Nilge's machine working that 38 machine on the outside. You see him also going to be working that 94 Ryan Sword, who is his teammate. So he should be able to get around him relatively easily. But right now, Michael Zuver getting worked by that 24 Kyler McCarthy on the inside.
Whoa, Zuver up high. This is really going to allow all these guys now. You're going to start seeing these old tire guys really start to fall off here. Sorry about that. Almost fell into my microphone. But yeah, Chris, if the Full Throttle faithful aren't entertained, man, I got to tell you, this is awesome. This is one of the best races we've seen all season. You would think there's playoff implications here tonight, Chris, or something.
Yeah, you would think.
It's insane how they're racing. And, you know, I'm just going to let you guys know, everybody in the backyard, if they've heard me, I've had my windows open for like the last 63 laps here. So every single word I've said, and if I've gotten loud, hey, I've let everyone know about Full Throttle Racing. So if our numbers aren't jumping up from neighbors figuring out what the heck I'm talking about, I don't know what's going to have to happen here, because this is awesome freaking racing, man. This is an awesome show here tonight, and everybody in my backyard now knows it because I've been having a blast here with this Full Throttle race here tonight, Chris, because, man, this has been a blast and a show. But look at that. While we were in all that kerfuffle, while all the craziness was happening, it has kind of settled back down. We got a single file run here going. But it looks like Ken Baum Jr. is going to reassert himself back out in the lead. As I say that, look at that 33 to 38, excuse me. Brett Strickler going to make the pass on the outside lane.
Yeah, good pass on the outside lane from that 38 machine. See Michael Zuver starting to slowly fall off. Those old tires are starting to show their ugly heads. So he's starting to lose a lot of pace up here in front of these guys that have these newer tires. Lucas Nilge's going to pull up to the back bumper of him. So you see Joshua Gaiman up 13 positions. You were saying earlier, Josh, he might be hanging out in the back. Looks like he's going to be running that top lane right now. Maybe that top lane going to start opening up here?
I think the top lane might start opening up here a lot more, Chris. You know, we have seen a little bit more sun exposure in some parts of the racetrack. We know this track, excuse me, is definitely going to start heating up. So it's like, definitely going to see that outside lane moving. We got a lot more rubber down there, and it does open up here at Homestead in these late runs. We'll have to see how they'll do, but 66 laps out of 130. Definitely thinking we're going to see some guys try to settle in here, get a groove, and we'll see some racing still, but I think we're going to kind of settle out here for this long run for just a few moments.
Like Zuver might have been up in the wall there just for a moment. Right now, like you were saying, everything's kind of settled out. Ken Baum now out to a 7/10 gap on Kyler McCarthy. And then William Brown has moved himself back up into that third spot. And then you see right behind him, Brett Strickler, turn 2 Terrible's number 38 machine, moving his way up into that 4th position. Joshua Gaiman right behind him. So the Nitro guys got a guy in 2nd and 5th right now. And Team Sparkle Unicorn's got at least one guy up here in the top 5. Lucas Nilge's is trying to catch up to Joshua Gaiman right now to get up there to battle for that 5th position. We see Michael Zuver now falling back to that 10th position. Those tires just showing their ugly heads.
We're just taking them off here, Chris. We are starting to see some of these damaged drivers going laps down here. That is the 35 at Chad Engel, who is getting past there on the inside lane. He was involved in that wreck with Chris Lane and Dakota Coon. Is that who that was? That wreck was big earlier. But he's the only guy that kind of survived from that wreck, so he's still out there turning laps. But I think for Chris Lynn, man, it's going to be a handful next week. He's just going to have to flat out win it. if he wanted to do anything to get into Phoenix. So
Yeah, Matthew Brown maybe had a little bit of a hiccup. You see, he went from 3rd position back to the 5th position, so Brett Strickler moves himself up into that 3rd position.
Matthew Brown.
Or what did I say? I'm sorry.
You said Matthew Brown.
Matthew Brown. I said William Brown. Excuse me.
My face just got in this like confused look, and I was like, I seriously had to think to myself for a second. Have we had a Matthew Brown this whole time, and I'm just realizing that? I bet you him at Matthew Fitz and William Brown. He's just a goober.
Yeah, I'm just dumb.
Ooh, shin bone to desk. As I'm trying to sit up and get back into this race, dude. These guys are just settling in like I did there for a second in the computer chair before I knocked the snot out of my shin here on the desk, but. Hey, other than that, we're just out here cruising, man. It's kind of like a Sunday drive for some of these drivers. As we're seeing them, like we say, in single file out, it's lap 70 now. As we're just getting ready to see what they've kind of got left for us. So we know some drivers have taken 2 sets. So when it says 4 sets, does that mean 4 sets in all?
Plus the one, I think it's 4 sets of tires. So it'd be 3 sets of tires in the pits, the 1 set that you start with.
So, most of these drivers only have 1 set of tires left.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's all they need. I wouldn't see him needing much more than that. As Joshua Gaiman, Chris, we were talking about him earlier. He's moved up 14 spots. He's our biggest mover. I want to say of the night. Started originally in that 18th position. He's now moved his way up into 4th.
Yeah, so a good move there for Joshua Gaiman, just kind of riding it out. You see him riding that top lane there with a 38 of Brett Strickler, so that's what I was saying. It looks like, it looked like he might have been getting sideways there for a second, but he just came down off the wall. Kim Baum Jr. doing a good job. I love that Two Machines livery. That is a really, really good livery, especially tomorrow being Halloween. And it being foggy, like we said when we started, it just kind of gave it that spooky vibe.
They're just burning couches in the infield, man.
That's what it is.
It's all those Matthew Fitz fans. He gets them all drunk before they get out there and race. He shows up with free beer, and then he convinces them to take the couches out of their RVs, and he burns them. He's a crazy guy, dude, but he signs all their autographs. He also won last night in the propane class at Weeder Valley, so...
Oh, yeah.
Worldwide talent, dude.
I do remember that. I didn't get to go to that race. Sadly, I had to work today, so I was like, I couldn't really, drive to Tennessee and then come back.
Yeah, Well, Matthew Fitz has a private jet, if you don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you wouldn't understand, so.
I wouldn't.
As we'll get back up on board here with a guy who's driving like he's in a private jet, Kim Baum Jr., man, he's pulled himself out to a gap, but it seems like Kyler McCarthy is starting to bring that gap back.
Slowly pulling it back in.
Yeah, he's pulling it back in just a little bit.
Maybe Ken Baum going on a conserve.
Yeah, he could be here at lap 74. I mean, we know they got that 1 set of tires left, as we were saying about Brett Strickler. He's pulling up here to the back of Colin McCarthy. Brett Strickler having himself a good little night here tonight.
You see him getting all the way up there against that wall. Man, that's just... I know, like I said, I was getting stressed out whenever I was running it, just me. I can only imagine what it was like, what it would be like running the wall in a race. Brett Strickler to the inside. Making a move for that 2nd position. And
he's not a playoff contender. He's just out here racing, man, and he's got a good setup. Seems like that Turn 2 Terribles 38 machine is down to put a wrench in these guys' strategy. And, hey, him racing this Kyle McCarthy machine has definitely helped his teammate Ken Baum.
Yeah, but Ken Baum now slowly starting to spread that gap back out. That little bit of battle that Brett Strickler's doing with that 24 of Kyler McCarthy is starting to slow him up a little bit. Looks like Brett Strickler going to go ahead and make the pass, though. Let's see if the 24 tries to set him up. Oh, you see the 38 get a little loose. He's walking it up the track, but he's going to keep it underneath him.
And that's going to open up Josh Gaiman, who's going to give a push. I would have thought he would have went to the inside there, but maybe he's just trying to disrupt these guys' flow or something. As it's going to go to the inside for that 24 machine of Kyle McCarthy. It's 38 of Brett Strickler, man. It seems like that outside lane really starting to pick up the speed here, Chris, late in this run.
Yeah, you see him make the pass coming out of turn 2, down the back straightaway, going into turn 3. He's going to have it set up. He's going to take that inside lane. Let's see if he decides to stick it down there. But that 24 machine looks like he's just driving a little harder on that middle lane. Then you see William Brown starting to slowly peek his head back up here behind these guys battling.
As you were saying about William Brown, we ride on board here with him. That Team Sparkle Unicorn.
Whoa, gaming into the wall.
Big run, too, here from William Brown. He got that 3-car draft. And look at this outside run he's going to get here. He's going to put the right side up. Not all the way to the wall, but he's hugging that right seam with the right side. A little bit of a wiggle, but he's going to get a massive run here down the front straightaway. Maybe not the run he wanted, but still got him closer, and this is going to allow him to go here to this second lane as we go here on board with the roll cage cam. Looking out the front right of his front windshield, you see him right up against the wall, tucking up the back now of that Joshua Gaming 33 Nitro racing machine. And it seems like he's getting the run up there, just not finding the speed and corner he may want to, but the 33 to the outside now is going to allow him to open it up to the inside. We'll see what this 9 of William Brown is going to be able to do, but right now, it looks like the only thing he's got to do is pass these cars in front of him.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like Brett Strickler going to go ahead and assume that second position and kind of walk away with it. As I say that, though, that 24 to the bottom lane. Ken Baum, though, now a second 0.3 out of Brett Strickler. So you're seeing this battling going back here for that second, third position starting to show. And you see Joshua Gaiman taking the middle to high lane. William Brown taking all the way up there to the top lane. See if that 9 machine gets a good run out of corner exit. Doesn't look like he's getting the run that he wants, though.
Woo! William Brown was running the wall there for a moment. Oh, man, that's beautiful to watch. And he's giving bumps to the 33, letting him know, all right, buddy, I'm here now. A little bit of a kiss. That it's going to be nothing that's going to affect his car at all.
Looks like he might have pushed the 33 Joshua Gaiman into the corner a little bit. That's going to open up the door for Kevin Click now. Kevin Click's on the inside.
He said Joshua Gaiman got bumped and thought, man, this sucks, and then thought, man, this is great. Got the best run of my life out of that corner.
Oh, it's William Brown and Joshua Gaiman into the wall.
33 tapped it, 9 chased him into it.
So right now, Ken Baum's still out in the lead. You see, you can still see Brett Strickler in the camera, but he's got about a 1.25 second gap away from that 38 machine. But you see Kyler McCarthy still battling on the inside with him. Joshua Gaiman on that top lane. 25 of Kevin Click, though, had that accident early on. He's moved his way back up here into that 5th spot. So this is good to see, especially if you're that 25 machine trying to get into the playoffs.
It's Brett Strickler, man. He's done a good job here so far, but I don't think he's really trying to advance himself too much. I don't know if this is a little bit of, not gamesmanship from him. I mean, I know he's probably trying his best to catch his teammate, but you got to think now that he's in this position and we're in this spot in the race, you got to think a little bit of gamesmanship's got to start coming in, right? He's got to maybe make the rear end of that race car just a little bit bigger. Not saying he's got to go out there and flat out just block every single driver that's coming up behind him. But I think he's got to make it harder for these guys, Just make it harder.
Just make it harder for him.
He's doing, obviously, an excellent job of that so far. They're not able to pass him, which is well enough for Ken Baum. He's already gotten now a 1.5 seconds. It looks like Nick Cannon going to come down pit road. That's an unexpected pit stop. Is there going to be a pit stop turned into a game swap? Find out on your next episode of Full Throttle Racing.
It's Kevin Click on the inside of the 33, still trying to make that pass for that 5th position, or excuse me, that 4th position. That 33, just like you said, Josh, making that door just a little wider, just a little harder for him to walk through. As you see the 33 getting in the wall, this might open up the door for Kevin Click. See him getting a better run out of the corner.
As Kevin Click to the inside now, gonna try to slide up maybe? As he shows,
Whoa!
No, Joshua Gaiman loose, and there comes William Brown to the inside. He's gonna grab it back up, but that is gonna
Oh
be
my
Joshua Gaiman moving
goodness.
back to sixth position.
Oh my goodness, that snap was terrible. Should it get loose there? Whoa. Good hands on there from Joshua Gaiman, though. Good hands on racing.
As that 38 of Brett Strickler now starting to look like he's losing a little bit of pace. Is that 24 of Kyle McCarthy going to come to the inside now and try to really make this pass if he can possibly get up there and make something happen? As you got to think there's going to be at least one more caution, right? We've seen the theme of how this race goes. We get middle to almost late run, and then bam, caution. We get close to middle of the run, bam, caution. So it's like, we'll have to see what happens here on this third run, and maybe we'll get another caution. Who knows? But
Kyle McCarthy's going to have to. Oh, he's going to have to get out of it. I was going to say, you're going to that inside lane, he's going to have to get out of it. He's not going to be able to make that pass on the inside. That outside lane looks like it's just starting to become dominant. Because right now, Ken Baum's still out to a 1.3 second gap between his teammate Brett Strickler, who's making it hard for that Nitro machine driver of Kyler McCarthy. As I say that, whoa, 24 getting loose.
Whoa, Kevin Click gonna switch it around, man. That was close.
Yeah, I saw that 24 get loose. You're going to see that open up the door for the 25 of Kevin Click. He's going to make that move on the inside. The 24 might be able to gather up a little bit of speed here, as it looks like Brett Strickler down pit lane. Whoa, as he's getting sideways. Oh, man, that's just unfortunate.
Indeed unfortunate.
$53 Bill Hell's down pit lane. Kyler McCarthy down pit lane. Just watching their speed in the timer right now just to see who I can see coming down pit lane. So it looks like Nitro coming down pit lane. Ryan Sword down pit lane for Team Sparkle Unicorn. So it doesn't look like anybody else coming down. So far, Shane Weldon actually down pit lane. Kevin Click down.
Yeah, so these are those pit stops we were talking about.
Jimmy Barr down pit lane. Pit lane speed here is 50 miles an hour. A lot of these drivers getting it slowed down to that 50 mile an hour zone. Michael Zuber going to get it slowed down. This is definitely a tricky pit lane to come on to.
Yeah, I mean, any of these tracks now are tricky to come onto with the configuration of these race cars. I think this generation of race car might be the hardest to get onto the apron. It just wants to snap so much.
So right now we're riding on board here with William Brown. You see him trying to work Joshua Gaiman right in front of him. That big, massive run there from that 9 of William Brown. You see him giving his teammate, or excuse me, not teammate, that 33 a little bit of a shot, trying to push him into the corner a little hotter. Man, did not set himself. They both got into the wall there.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a part of the race, Chris, where these drivers are going to start having to battle the car more than really the guys around them and the environment of the race. It's just, you're at lap 96 or 130. You're really kind of just worn out at this point. You're trying to get this race over with. But you're also trying to get the best finishing position. You got to keep your head composed, not let anything distract you, not lose your focus for just a moment. As I'm going to see the 33 of Joshua Gaiman wave the virtual hand out the net, and he's going to pull it down pit road as you're going to ride on board here with him as he gets it slowed up. Oh, he's going to hit the barrels.
Oh.
Couldn't have picked a better person to ride on board with there.
Couldn't have picked a better person to ride on board with then. The 28 of Robbie Banks. Oh my goodness. So Ken Baum came down pit lane while we were watching that. We saw Robbie Bice take that unfortunate shot there. See David Smill pulling down pit lane in front of him. Man, just a lot of craziness going on something you don't normally see.
Yeah, that was unfortunate there. Hey, we were right place with the cameras though. We wouldn't have never known that happened.
Never known that happened otherwise. So I don't want to say it was good timing, but good timing?
I mean, I would say you definitely were in the right place right time with the cameras.
Yep.
But you know, if it's going to happen, like they say, the cameras are probably going to catch it.
Yeah. I would have never noticed it. I did not get a wrecked marker or anything because they were off of the racing line. That's the only thing that I saw. I'm just going through all the ticker right now. Do not see any markers at all. So yeah, that could have been completely missed. Just going to see Ken Baum on those fresher tires just goes blasting past Lucas Nilges. See, right now he's also coming up to William Brown. See how easy he can get around that 8 machine. Go up there and try to battle it out with William, or excuse me, to get his lap back from William Brown. That's what I was trying to say. You see him pull down, maybe William Brown saying, hey, I'm about to go to the pit lane, so I need to be on the inside.
Yeah, he's slowing her down. He's not going to hit the barrels, right? Oh my God, I thought he was about to.
See also his teammate Lucas Nilges come down pit lane. Yeah, unfortunate there for that 33.
Matthew Fitz is going to inherit the lead. But he still has to pit.
Yeah, right now, him and Brody Green are the only ones who have not come down pit lane since lap 52. As we see right now, Kyler McCarthy would technically be your leader once Matthew Fitz, Brody Green come down pit lane. So we will follow right now. Kevin Click trying to put a licking on that 24 of Kyler McCarthy, trying to pass on the inside there just a second ago.
They're definitely going to get into a battle here soon. As Ken Baum is to the inside. Oh, Matthew Fitz smoking him as he comes in. And in this lead pack here, Brody Green, he hasn't pitted since lap 53. 52, excuse me. The rest of these guys are all... Sorry about that. I was trying to figure out who just pitted. And it's Kyle McCarthy is going to an errant lead when Brody Green pits. It's just when Brody Green pits. Unless Kevin Click or Ken Baum Jr. got something to say about it, because Ken Baum's looking hungry as he's going to drive it to the inside here. William Brown going to shut that door for the moment, but big run to the corner for the 2. Right up to the back bumper of the 24, Chris. And to the outside. We're back to racing.
Yeah, we saw Ken Baum on the faster run this past... Whoa, as we're seeing the 91 up there on the outside lane. Looks like Ken Baum going to go ahead and get around him. You're also going to see Kevin Click move to the outside around that 91. So you're thinking Brody Green might be coming down pit lane here soon, seeing how fast everybody's going past him now.
Yeah, you would think. But he's hoping for another caution or something. He's like, I just don't want to stay. I want to stay out. Chris, we only got 25 laps to go here this next time by.
Whoa! Did you see Ken Baum take an outside move to David Smill Jr.? Man.
2 gave the 24 a bump, letting him know he's there. Moves him up the track. He's going to get to the inside here. As they're going to be tight here coming off of turn 2. Ken Baum going to go to the outside. We'll have to see what this 25 Kevin Click's going to do. He's going to get right up to the back bumper, but he's going to go to the inside. Kevin Click can open himself up. This could be one of those things. He might not be able to make the pass stick, and they could lose some time to this Ken Baum machine if they're not careful. Looks like Kevin Click is going to move himself up to second comfortably in the moment.
So we're seeing Kyler McCarthy work that inside lane there on that 25 machine. Let's see if he can set something up here. It doesn't look like he's going to set something up here right now. As we're seeing back there, that is the 27 of David Smill Jr. with that gaggle of race cars. So I'm getting a little sideways back there. But right now, like I said, Kyler McCarthy doesn't look like he has anything to say to Kevin Click. Maybe he's just kind of, holding that deck of cards back there, just waiting to bide his time, maybe try to get up there and battle Kevin Click for that second position. But like we say, Ken Baum has now moved himself out into the lead. He's now got a 6/10 gap over his teammate, Kevin Click. So that's something that we're looking at. Maybe Kevin Click now going to try to get up here, battle with his teammate as well.
Something, man. These turn 2 guys have looked good here tonight. Really good. They seem like they've brought a good race car here at lap 108, going on to lap 109. It's still Ken Baum. And it was Brett Strickler a few moments ago. Now it's at, which I don't know what happened to Brett Strickler. He's all the way back to 18th now.
When he spun coming into pit lane.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad. Did forget about that. But either way, Ken Baum Jr., Kevin Click, those 2 turn 2 table guys looking great. And then we got Nitro of Kyle McCarthy, and Brady Green still hasn't pitted. He's still running 4th place.
Yeah, but we see Nick Cannon starting to come up to the back bumper of that 91 of Brody Green. So you might see him go down here another position. And then William Brown 2 seconds off of the 88. So right now, William Brown just trying to set himself up for a good finish here. But with 21 laps to go, this is going to be anybody's race. Still anybody's race.
I mean, you are correct. Anybody's race. I mean, we're 1 caution away from this thing being flipped on its head. And we're 1 driver getting too loose or something from this being, completely a different finish. So it's one of those things you got to bide your time when you're out in the lead and hope to goodness that it's going to stay green for the rest of the time like it has if you got a comfortable lead, because it seems like right now Ken Baum has been the guy to beat when he gets in this long run here late.
Yeah, Ken Baum setting himself out to a good gap now, almost 7/10 to his teammate, and then Kyler McCarthy about a second off of that. trying to catch that 25 of Kevin Click, but just looks like he doesn't have everything underneath and maybe just not running the same line. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to count that 24 out at all. Whoa, as I say that, getting into the wall there just a little bit, but not going to count him out at all. We know this Nitro guys, they have a lot of fast setups. They'll get it done.
Yeah, we know the Nitro guys do know how to get it done, Chris. And like we were saying, who was going to take over the reins? Right now, it's been Colin McCarthy here at Homestead. He seems like he's been the Nitro, guy that's leading the pack here. Brady Green's starting to fall back to the pack big time now. But Colin McCarthy in that third spot. We'll have to see if he's got anything for these guys. 5/10 away from Kevin Click, 6/10 away from, pretty much 7/10 away from Ken Baum Jr. So it's not like he's not within striking distance. He's very close. Just has to see if he can find the runs to get himself closer and up there to make these guys have to rethink their runs and make them have to battle that machine right there, because he is trying his darndest.
Yeah, that 24 machine, I'm wondering if he's got that Susie machine in his ear telling him what to do. Because, man, like you said, Josh, having to take the reins up for that 88, or excuse me, that 81, this is he's doing a good job of it sitting up here in that third position.
And he has led the race. Oh, Kevin Click into the wall.
This could
open the door for this 24.
I was gonna say this is gonna open up the door for him.
It's Kyle McCarthy off of turn number 4, coming down the front straightaway. We're gonna hit the stripe at lap number 15 or 115, excuse me. As we'll see if he's got anything now for Kevin Click. Kevin Click getting into the wall a couple moments ago, and it looks like he's getting not maybe the best line on that outside lane. I could be wrong. It seems like he got a pretty decent run off corner exit, but
wasn't enough to get him around or to the door of that 25 though. So right now, Ken Baum now a second 0.2 off. So 1.2 seconds off is that Ken Baum machine in this battle, and going back here for that second position is really starting to help that 2 machine get a really good gap out to him. It's really burning that 24 and that 25's equipment up, just trying to battle for that position alone. You see all the way back there Nick Cannon. You see his teammate Lucas Nilge's also William Brown. So a lot of Sparkle Unicorn guys here in 4th, 5th, and 6th.
yeah, Sparkle Unicorn showed up today. Lap 117, and it's pretty much remained the same. Ken Baum, Kevin Click, Colin McCarthy in this 1, 2, and 3 spot. We'll have to see if they've got anything else to do, but it looks like Ken Baum has kind of just started to run away with it again, Chris. He was 7/10 away, now a second and 8/10 away from these 2 guys. Just shows you what a little bitty, teeny bit type of battling can do for your run.
Yeah, you are correct, Josh. Just a little bit of battling can really show you, how much it can slow down the drivers and let that lead driver who's in clean air really get away from everybody. Now, yeah, like you said, about 1.8 seconds right now to Kevin Click. Kyler McCarthy about 2.7, 2 seconds off of Ken Baum. So this battle for that second position is really starting to show that it's letting that 2 machine be able to just kind of walk away. We'll go back here with Lucas Nilge's William Brown. We see Nick Cannon also in that picture, but it looks like Nick Cannon's slowly starting to fall off. He's going to open up the door for Jimmy Barr, move himself up into that sixth position, excuse me. It doesn't look like he's going to make the move now. Jimmy Barr going to go ahead and jump behind that 88. You see Ryan Sword there in that 9th position, and Matthew Fitz rounding out, in 9th position, and then Bill Hell's rounding out your top 10. So your driver that normally takes the EOL, that 53 of Bill Hell's now moved himself up into that 10th position. 13 of William Hobart in 11th. And then you see Brody Green in 12th, Michael Zuver in 13th, and then Shane Weldon Sr. is your last driver on the lead lap, or off of the lead lap. So first driver off of the lead lap, excuse me.
And Chris, Matthew Fitz in that 9th position was one of those drivers early in the race that, like, he could have been a contender here, but he's fallen back all the way to 9th and really hasn't recovered since. Moved back to, I think his lowest was 14th after that almost wreck where he saved it a bunch. But I think that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, and especially at a track like Homestead. It's not an easy track to keep your consistency at. You definitely miss your turn a lot more than you think you do here, but hey, it stinks for him right now, but maybe something will happen that Matthew Fitz machine can get back up in here in the next 8, but so far it's looking like it's going to end in this order unless anything happens behind him. But I think right now we're going to see it be Ken Baum Jr. that's going to have a very good lead at the moment, almost 2.5 seconds. Doing a great job out there, and you know, if the cards are stacked right, the 2 machine's going to walk home tonight with another win.
Yeah, it's something that we've started seeing now that Josh Susi hasn't been on the track here last couple of races. Is that 2 machine starting to show that he also is talented behind that wheel, which we know last season's champion. So just goes to show you, maybe he'll go back to back. As you're starting to see that gap between Kevin Click and Kyler McCarthy start to slowly fall off. Looks like maybe the pace is starting to slow up. With 8 laps to go, though, if Kyler McCarthy's got anything left in the tank, this is where he's going to have to throw it out and try to at least walk away with a 2nd place position.
Yeah, some of these drivers that needed it tonight are just trying to salvage Chris. You know, William Brown was up there leading most of the race earlier. He seems like ever since that pit stop run, he's not been able to recover and just get what he wanted back. I mean, he seemed like a really fast race car here tonight, but right now he's just a really fast race car who seems like he hasn't seized the right opportunity yet. And, you know, he had it there for a moment where he was up there battling with all those guys in the top 5. But just those battles getting wacky, the caution coming out, and just wasn't able to get the opportunity that he needed to really stretch his legs there, because the Sparkle Unicorn guys have looked fast all night, and their speed is not being reflected in the scoreboard right now.
Yeah, I mean, right now, though, you got to look, though, Josh. Sparkle Unicorn 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th, 9th. I mean, it is showing a little bit. They are running some pretty fast.
Obviously. But I'm saying, you know, I think with the setups they've shown earlier, you know, Nick Cannon up there, Matthew Fitz, William Brown, they were all in that 2nd, 3rd, 4th position. You know, now it seems like they're struggling here a little bit more in this later run. Just saying, I think where they're at on the track, yeah, is still good and great. Obviously, Chris, not saying it like that way. I think I'm just saying more or less that I think their results may be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, the results just might not look as good as what, you know, the cars actually ran here tonight. They've had some very good tuned-up hot rods, just haven't had the cards fall their way. As we'll go back up on board here with Kevin Click, who's trying to pass this Michael Zuber machine.
See him get around. I was going to say, it looks like 24 is starting to slowly fall off. Now a 7/10 gap between him and Kevin Click, but this could change here once he was able to get around that Michael Zuber machine. But it looks like you said, unless anything, you know, falls out of the sky or lands on the track, or we have a slingshot to the moon, I see, like you said, it just finishing the way it is right now. But anything can happen. I'm not going to put my foot in my mouth just yet.
Yeah, it's coming off of turn 4 there. You look for a second, Colin McCarthy might have started wiggling.
Because right now, Kevin Click's got about a 2nd gap between him and his teammate of Ken Baum, and then you see Kevin Click now, he's got it out to about a 1.2 second gap over Kyler McCarthy. So coming to the stripe with 2 to go, Ken Baum has got himself set up here for a finish. Let's see if we can get around this track 2 more times. Green flag.
Yeah, you're thinking if you're Ken Baum, please, goodness gracious, let me see this white flag.
Yeah, and if you're in that 24 camp right now, you're like, please let me see that caution flag right now.
Yeah, it would definitely be what that 24 wants.
Yeah, he needs it right now. Kyler McCarthy needs a caution right now.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's going to get it, Chris, because Ken Baum is about to take that white flag here in just a few seconds. As a white flag for the two, Ken Baum Jr. is showing it. We'll see if he can get it done this lap. Ken Baum Jr. will be seeing the white, and this is your last lap here from the Vice City 130. As they drive it off here into turn 1 and 2, Ken Baum Jr., Kevin Click, and Kyler McCarthy. That is your 1, 2, and 3 as it stands at the moment. And down the back straightaway for the last time, Ken Baum Jr. going to drive it off here into 3 and 4. And we'll see if that Toyota Camry has what is left out of turn 3 through turn 4. And on the exit, he's going to be starting to get ready to straighten that wheel up. He's got the hands up in the air. And man, he is going to bring home a great, well-deserved checker flag. He is going to be your race winner, Ken Baum Jr., the turn 2 Terribles Toyota Camry. Bringing home a great, great race victory. Had a little bit of adversity there at the start. Moved back to about 8th position, 9th position, I want to say was his lowest. And he has moved his way back up to the field with solid tactics, good pace, and just, hey, overall smooth driving. Great job there to Ken Baum Jr. And a good job to Kevin Click, his teammate, as well, to finish P2, as well as that Kyler McCarthy machine in that P3 position. Sorry about that. We will get to your post-race results up on the screen here in just a moment. But we're just going to watch this two machine do a quick little burnout right quick, and then we'll get to that here in just a moment. This is going to be Ken Baum Jr., race winner here tonight, Chris. What an excellent job from that two machine. If you want to go ahead and get those post-race results up on the board. As they are up on the board as Ken Baum Jr., your race winner here tonight. Kevin Click going to come home in P2 with Kyler McCarthy in that third place position. Lucas Nilge is going to finish here tonight in fourth, another one of those Sparkle Unicorn drivers that was kind of hanging out towards the middle of the field there. And here in this late run, Chris, Lucas Nilge's turned it up. Great finish from him in that fourth spot. William Brown going to finish fifth with Jimmy Barr in sixth. Then we'll see Matthew Fitz in seventh with Ryan Sword in eighth. Bill Hell's going to finish here tonight, ninth, with that Nick Cannon machine in 10th. William Hobart, 11th. Michael Zuber, 12th, with Shane Weldon, 13th, and Brody Green, 14th. Chad Engel going to finish 15th, with Brett Strickler in 16th. David Smill Jr. going to finish here tonight in that 17th position, with Rory Bice in 18th. Joshua Gaiman, 19th. Chris Lynn in 20th. Dakota Kuhn, 21st. And that will round out your field as we are looking to see at the moment. We do have Ken Baum and Kyler McCarthy, so we will go ahead and bring up Ken Baum Jr., your race winner, and have a word with him. Ken Baum Jr., Chris, and Josh up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Man, Ken, it seemed like there early in the race, you lost a little bit of momentum there, and we saw the big wobble in the early part of the race, and you fell back towards that middle pack right there in that top 10 area. Tell us how you were able to recover the race, and then through the late run, here in the end run, I should say, you seemed like you were very dominant. So take us through that there early and bring us back to where we are here now. And man, congratulations on that race win, and we're excited to hear what you got to say.
Yeah, the race was good. At the beginning, through practice and qualifying, I had no issues. But the second lap of the race, I go into the turns and I touch my brake, and it's like maxed out. So I kept locking up the tires throughout the whole entire race, not even trying to. So once I got through that, I calibrated on the first pit stop and then tried to drive as hard as I could because it wasn't doing it, and then it started doing it again. So there, for like the last 40 laps, I was hardly using any brake going into the turns because I didn't know what was going to happen. I just got lucky that I pitted with 5 laps after the other guys, and just that couple of laps was enough to give me more speed off the turn, and I could get under them and pass them.
Yeah, you seemed like you had a good bit of speed there, like you said, in the second half. So it makes sense there with what was going on in the start. But either way, man, you had a great finish here tonight overall. But to get through the ups and downs, it shows, how great you guys have come through as the season. We know it's been one of those seasons for you guys. It's been a really successful season, and especially here going into the playoffs, you guys seem like you've cranked it up. Going into Martinsville next week, Ken, we're excited to see what you've got going. How are you feeling going into Martinsville, and kind of take us through what you're preparing to get yourself ready before we hit that cutoff race?
Martinsville, if I can get my hardware 100% and I don't have to worry about it, it should be a fairly decent race, and I should be able to get, a win, top 3, top 5 easily, not a problem. Normally my race is at a factor of everybody else's, so it depends on how they do as how good I do. But we're not too worried about it. We got a solid base for our team, and we're gonna go in there kicking.
Heck yeah, man! You guys seem like y'all showed y'all speed tonight here for sure with you and Kevin up there. We know. I want to say it was Brett Strickler that was up there racing with you earlier before he had his little bit of incident going into pit road. But hey, other than that, man, you guys showed some really good speed here at a track that we know is difficult sometimes to make some good speed at. And going into Martinsville, you said you're confident. You're on your what 10th win now of the season, counting the All Star race. So it seems like you're in the double digit range, and you're feeling the momentum going into the playoffs. So if you've got anything to else you want to share with us, Ken, anything you want to shout out, any final words, anything like that, you're more than welcome to get them out there, and we'll let you get on your way.
Yeah, no, I'd just like to thank the guys over at T22 Racing. We've busted our asses off this whole entire season, and it's paying off at the end for me and Kevin. Some of the other guys aren't having the luck like we do, but they run good every week, and I appreciate their help and their support. My girlfriend, my baby girl, Jeremy Zarfis Photography, the whole Turn Two Terribles podcast guys. I'd like to thank everybody.
Heck yeah, man. Well, we're excited to have you up here in the booth again, Ken. It was one of those things tonight. We didn't know how it was going to play out, especially with those early cautions, but you guys managed, you maintained, and in typical Turn Two Terribles fashion, you brought that number 2 Toyota into victory lane. But hey, again, thank you, man, for having a few words with us. We're excited to see what you guys got cooked up next week, and hey, enjoy the rest of this week, man. And hey, we're excited to see you at Martinsville, Ken.
Thank you. Take care.
Thank you, man. And that was Ken Baum Jr. Going to go ahead and bring up Kevin Click P2 and have a word with him. Hey, Chris. Sorry about that. Just had to get my fact checker over here right quick before I went in here and made a fool out of myself. As we're gonna go ahead and bring up Kevin Click and have a word with him after he had a controversial start to this race. Kevin Click, Chris, and Josh up here in the Full Throttle booth. You got a copy, sir?
Yeah, I got you guys.
Man, Kevin, I gotta say, it's probably been one of those nights here tonight that you might not have been expecting to sit here in this P2 position. We know early on you were the first caution tonight with that big ordeal right there coming out of turn 2. It seemed like you guys might have been knocked out a little bit, and we might not have been talking to you up here tonight. But hey, in typical Turn 2 Terribles fashion, you guys turned it around, and you were able to get that 25 Ford Mustang back up here onto the podium. P2, you got to be feeling a little bit better after earlier in the race. And hey, how do you feel after that race here tonight?
Yeah, I gotta apologize to Wayne Brown on that deal. I called him out over voice chat too in the race. He certainly didn't deserve it, and yeah, that was totally my deal. I got up into the fence a little bit. I thought he was a lot closer than what he was, and I got into the fence and then turned down across his nose and did it to myself. But luckily, didn't have too much damage. Was able to get it repaired and come back out and work my way back through the field up to P2 and. Thought there for a little bit I was going to have something for Ken a little bit, but touched the wall there in 1 and 2 when I was running high, and that was probably all that Ken needed because he's already fast enough, so he doesn't need any help, and I helped him out a little bit there. So, me and Ken are teammates, but we race the crap out of each other when we're around each other, and we enjoy racing each other. And congrats to him on the win, and congrats to Kyler on third. So.
Hey, I mean, you guys definitely looked good even after that, that ordeal we saw earlier, like you said, and you were able to bring it back up. And definitely get a Mansville finish. Like we were saying, it looked like a hard shot, but once we went back and watched replays, definitely saw like, oh, it knocked the toe out. He might be done, but then hey, you got it fixed up, you got it pulled out, and you pulled it out of the hat. Like you said, another P2 here, and there towards the end of the run, not able to make it happen. But we know you're going into Martinsville next week, Kevin. You're right behind your teammate in the playoff points, 1-2 still. How do you take next week going into Martinsville? And what do you think you got for us next week in that 25 machine as we get into the elimination race? And how is it feeling over in that Turn 2 Terribles camp for you guys right now?
We're pretty good. 1-2s the last 2 weeks, so we're pretty happy with that. Martinsville's a big wild card because you never know what's going to happen there. It's typical short track, so you got to take care of your stuff there, take care of the cars around you too, because place has a way of, if you're involved in it, you're going to get cleaned up no matter what happens. So qualifying is going to be important to start toward the front and make sure that you try to keep your nose clean all the way through that race.
Yeah, we know it's going to be one of those races. It's going to be difficult for all you guys, even the teammates. We know how hard it is to keep your nose clean. But Kevin, we're excited to see what you guys got lined up for us next week. But hey, man, if you've got any final words, thoughts, shout outs, anything you want to give before we get you out of the booth, you're more than welcome to throw them out there. We'll let you get on your way and get tuned up and ready for next week.
Yep. Thanks to everybody at Turn 2 Racing. Got to give a shout out to Jeremy Zarfos. He's done for the year. He had a little bit of a issue that he had to get taken care of, so he's out for the rest of the season. I wish him the best, and got to say hi to my family at home, and we'll see what happens next week.
Hey, I think that's the best we can say, right? Is see what happens. But hey, Kevin, again, thank you for having a couple words with us up here in the Full Throttle booth, man. And hey, we'll be seeing you next week, hopefully up here talking to us again. I know it's going to be a deciding factor for you guys, but hey, congratulations again tonight. We'll be seeing you here soon.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, man. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring up our third interview, Kyler McCarthy, and have a word with him. You said I sounded really quiet? Check. Can you hear me? Okay. Sorry, Kyler. This is Chris and Josh up in the booth clearly, man. And hey, hopefully you have a copy. And how you doing right now?
Oh yeah, I got you. Loud and clear, boys. It could be better. You know, we had a good car, and it sucks that we came 2 spots short of where I felt like we should have finished. But
Yeah, it definitely seemed like there early. You had a really good car, Kyler. We definitely saw you had a great run early. What really went on there in the middle run? Do you think that started to halt that momentum? Was it the battle in there with Kevin there at the end, or was it just the way the pit stops fell? Take us through what might have halted that 24 camp from maybe getting up there and winning that race here tonight.
I got to get a shout out first of all to my spotter Aaron. He did a great job making adjustments on this thing, making it better over the run. Just that caution where we had the first 4 cars stay out and just kind of got mired in traffic after that. We just really never really could recover from that. By the time Ken got in front of us, we started chasing him down, and then we had pressure from Brett and trying to defend, but chase Ken down at the same time. It was just trying to balance the two was just pretty difficult. And now I see why when I was out in clean air, why guys behind me were trying to do the same thing. It was hard for them. So. But hats off to these guys at Nitro. They built a hell of a set. Um, we probably should have won the thing had the cautions not failed the way they did. But um, you can one in one hand and in the other and see which one fills up quicker. Um, for for mild language for YouTube. But got us in a good spot points wise. I think we're probably P3 or P4 points wise. So we'll go into Martinsville and just do what we got to do and see what happens.
Heck yeah, that's what we were going to really kind of lead off to was the Martinsville thing, but I think you kind of just said it there. Just got to see what happens pretty much with a track like Martinsville. But, we were saying it earlier, with the, the disappearance of what feels like, your guys like main guy over at Nitro with Susie. It seems like somebody's had to take the reins. And I got to say, Kyler, you've been doing a great job here these last couple of weeks, man. You're showing your speed, you're building your confidence. And I think going next week into Martinsville, like you said, it's just going to be an all-out brawl out. It's just pretty much whoever is there at the end is going to be who's there at the end. And, it's one of those tracks, put your name in the hat, you might be lucky. So we're excited to see what you got for us next week. We know the setup's probably going to be top tier. And like you said, grabbing the reins and taking a hold of this team, and you're doing a pretty good job here in the late season. And hey, if you've got any final words, thoughts, or shout outs, you're more than welcome to throw them out there, Kyler. And hey, we're excited to see what you got there going into next week.
Yeah, I mean, if y'all thought what y'all saw at Bristol was good for a cutoff race, just imagine what y'all are going to see next week
Oh yeah.
for Martinsville. It's going to be a knockout, drag out. You got guys that are um, gonna do full send, and guys are that are just going to kind of be cautious and just kind of try and lock themselves in on points. At this point, with Ken winning, there's 3 spots open for points that 3 of us can point our way in. So. That's best case scenario. Either that or it was somebody that was not in the playoffs to win tonight. So, really for us playoff drivers, we really got the best case scenario as far as points wise going. Ultimately, I would have rather win that and taking it down to 2 guys pointing their way in. But we're still in it. We still got a shot. So we'll just again shout out to Russ, Ken. Sorry, not Ken, Clayton, Jimmy, Patrick, everybody over at Nitro that does all the setup stuff for us. Um, all my teammates, Gaiman. I hate what happened to him tonight with the barrels. I feel like he was he was thinking of his inner Susie right there from our previous league. Everybody that puts stuff into this team week in and week out, I can't thank them enough. Susie, just know that we miss you, bud. Can't wait for you to get back next season with us. And everybody that tuned in, AJ, Jennifer, Carrie, all my friends that tuned in on the YouTube channel, I appreciate y'all.
Heck yeah, well, if it makes you feel any better, man, we did get the Joshua game in barrels. We were riding on board with him when it happened magically. So that is going to be out there. You're more than welcome to go watch that as many times as you want there. But hey, Kyler, again, thank you for having a moment with us, buddy, and we're excited to see what you guys got for us at Martinsville next week, man.
Sounds good. Yeah, we started turning laps there the other night, so hopefully we should be in the top 3, top 5, and be able to point our way in to Phoenix. Gonna help Smil this week and put some work in with him to get him in there too. Wouldn't feel right without having at least 2 of us Nitro guys in there for the final 4. So we'll put our work in and hope it pays off like it always does.
Yeah, man, we're excited to see what you guys got. But again, thank you for joining us up here, having a word with us, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, man. And that was Kyler McCarthy. Well, Chris, do you have any final words for the Full Throttle Faithful before we get them out of here and get them ready to get packed up and move on to Bristol next week? Or not Bristol, excuse me, Martinsville next week.
Yeah, you got Bristol on the mind now. He's over talking about it. No, that's what you're thinking about.
Bristol, yeah, that's the first thing I thought of.
Just big shout out to everybody out there on the YouTube, everybody out there at the Full Throttle League. Everybody that puts this on for us to be able to do this, and it's a lot of fun. Love it. This was I honestly went into this race thinking that it was going to be a caution fest. I thought we were going to have at least 7 cautions, but the fact that we walked away with 3 was kind of crazy. Not gonna lie, as many times as I'd spun out on this track, thought we were gonna have it, and thought it wasn't gonna be this good. But hey, this was a good race, and I'm really looking forward to going into Martinsville. That's gonna be the make or break. Damage isn't gonna matter as much, but it's going to matter if your car is, damaged enough to run. That's going to be the question. We're not going to be looking at, are they missing fenders or bumpers or anything? That's not going to matter. It's going to be, is that toe going straight? Are they going to be able to slam on the brakes fast enough? That's what's going to be fun, and that's what I'm looking forward to. Short track racing at its finest going into Martinsville. So that's where it's going to be. Also being a cutoff race, that's what makes it fun. So big shout out again to everybody out there on the YouTube. Shout out to everybody in Full Throttle that just gives us the ability to do this. It's so much fun, and can't wait till next week.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting race at Martinsville, Chris. Like you said, going to be so much beating banging, but we're just going to have to find out how it's going to be. And other than that, I think this is going to be it for me and Chris up here in the booth. It's been a great night here with the Full Throttle Faithful. We saw awesome racing and capped by a pretty much just very tame ending. I mean, these guys really gave it all they got there in the middle of the race, and I think they kind of stretched their legs there. Once we saw that late race takeover from Ken Baum, it was pretty much set and wrap, and a great race from all these drivers. And it was fun to watch, man. I had a blast here tonight, especially that one restart, man. When it went for about 10 laps, that was probably some of the best racing I've seen here in the season so far. That was awesome. And it was a really good show. And hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And I know you guys are going to enjoy hitting the hay here soon, as this is going to be our final good night here from the Full Throttle booth. Signing out from the Vice City 130, brought to you by, goodness gracious, Team Sparkle Unicorn, as it has been a fun night here at Homestead, Miami. Saying thank you, good night, and get on your planes and get your butts to virtual Martinsville. I almost said Bristol again. Virtual Martinsville, and get out there, and we will see you next Wednesday for the cutoff race. But other than that, good night from Chris and myself. Josh Kiwi's up here in the booth, and we'll see you next week at Martinsville.